Hey, welcome to the Curi-YAAS podcast. I'm your host, Billie. Today we have a special guest named Jazmine, who is we found on Instagram, and that's at least that's where I know you from. If you'd like to introduce yourself, that would be fantastic.
Okay, hi, my name is Jazmine Chase. I've been doing this since I was a kid, I guess, but more seriously within the past 4 years because of my wife. Um, so, for about 4 years now, seriously, like doing my own makeup and yeah, it's just been doing it since then. It's funny, I kind of dived into this right when I met my wife, as a little kinky fun play, and then next thing I know, here.
Fun. How did you introduce it to your wife?
Honestly, so I always knew I was a little bit different since I was a kid, and also with the thing is being a young black man in the urban area from Chicago. You are set to a certain standard of what you're supposed to be. So I always knew I was a little bit different. The first time I ever saw like drag queens was I was watching an episode of Ricky Lake, and it was really interesting to me. But I remember being a kid younger than that. I used to put on my family members' heels, and I would walk around the house with them on, pretend I was Wonder Woman because that was one of my favorite shows. So then, as I was growing up more, um, I saw the Ricky Lake show. It intrigued me. I just thought it was really interesting that these uh, women were coming off like gorgeous. So uh, one day, me and the wife were joking. I don't know how we got into it. She's like, "I'm gonna put you in makeup." Okay. And she's like, "And we're gonna have fun." Okay. And the next thing I know, uh, is that's how it really started. And then when I did it, I realized that I enjoyed it a little bit more than I thought I would, and it just left from
Okay. So she's like, "Oh, we'll do your makeup," and you're like, "Yeah, you're gonna really have to twist my arm real hard for that one."
there. Exactly.
Dang. And so what was I'm assuming you maybe liked maybe it seemed like you liked it more than maybe she thought. How I'm just assuming.
I don't know. It was just more of a I liked it, and I said I want to do it again. But you know, she's not a makeup artist, and I didn't. When she did my makeup, I didn't see, and it was kind of crazy. Like when she did my makeup, I thought it was cool, but like something was missing. I didn't understand it until later on in life.
How long ago was that?
Fuck, about 14 years ago.
Oh dang, that's a long time. Okay, cool. So you've been pretty open with your wife since then, since
Yes.
14 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. And she's, I'm assuming, supportive and stuff, right?
Time. She's she just said be yourself. Oh no, I just dropped something.
Uh-oh.
It's one of those days. Yeah, she told me to be myself, and it doesn't matter what people think of you. Just be yourself.
Well, I think you're awesome, and you're definitely beautiful.
Thank you.
I always see all your pictures on Instagram, and I'm blown away all the time.
Thank you. A lot of practice. Practice. Excuse me one second. I just gotta grab something. That old saying, practice makes perfect. I literally was practicing possibly almost every weekend for like 3 years straight. Just kept getting the mirror, just kept looking at my makeup and seeing what else I could do different, and what would make me look different. And then, of course, I have a great group of friends who also gave me tips here and there. And my really good friend Miranda, she's check her out on Instagram. Her drag is great. She first taught me how to do makeup, and that kind of leads into what I was talking about earlier. So when she showed me how she did her makeup, she was like, "Do you want me to do yours?" I said, "Yeah." So she did my makeup, And I didn't look at the mirror because I just wanted to be surprised. And it's about, yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. I didn't. I just wanted to be surprised. I didn't want to ruin it. So she like, okay, are you ready? Yeah. She turned me around, and I literally, it. I got emotional and I got teary eyed, and I almost started crying because I'm like, that's it. That's Jazmine. That's who I've been looking for since I first did this.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, please teach me. And she's like, yeah. And then she just, and we went from there.
Dang, that's cool. That's got to be like I don't know. In my mind I equate it to like when I was wearing wigs. Like I put the wig for me was like the wow factor. So I can only imagine just having your makeup done and just turning around and just I don't know. I kind of like I think of those like old TV shows when they do makeovers and stuff and they don't let them see until the end. God, it's got to be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it was that. That's exactly how it was. And it's funny. Like my wow factor now is when I finally put the eyelashes on and the lipstick. That's my
Mm,
factor now because I mean I'm doing it, so I have nothing to surprise me.
yeah, I feel that. I don't do the eyelashes, but definitely the lipstick.
You know
It's
what?
like
Believe it or not, eyelashes make a huge difference. And
mm-hmm.
my girl Sasha, she's a big time drag queen in New York. Everybody check her out on Instagram, please. Um, she's like, when I was doing my makeup, she's like, "Girl, I'm sending you eyelashes." I'm like, "I don't want to put on eyelashes." She's like, "You put on eyelashes." So she sent me like a box full of eyelashes, and she's like, "Just play with them, work with them," because I could never put them on because I didn't understand. Nobody didn't tell me that I had to wait for the glue to dry a little bit. That was always,
Mm,
and then once I learned that, I was like, "Oh, eyelashes do make a difference."
yeah, yeah. I tried putting like fake eyelashes on a few times, and it was not a good thing. It was, oh my gosh, it was. I think an eyelash ended up on my cheek somehow.
Yup.
It was bad. It was bad. So I don't even I don't bother. My eyelashes are pretty long. You probably can't see because of you know image or whatever, but pretty good. But when I put like makeup on, it definitely helps.
It does.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot here. We're in this heat wave in California. It's like 105 degrees right now.
So I don't go out as much in the summertime
Mm-hmm.
because of the heat. Like my, as soon as I look at the sun, my face melts.
Uh oh. I've been there. The other problem, like if you're like putting makeup on, you start sweating and sweating and
Yeah,
sweating.
I had that a couple years ago. So I went to go see one of my this couple a couple years ago. Who I'm still seeing. Um, they trans couple, and then we went out there, and both Josie and Nat. And if you ever want to see a muscle Barbie, please go to Josie's Instagram. Oh,
What's her?
Josie. I'll pull up her actual Instagram, but she's freaking
You'll have
amazing.
to you'll have to share their Instagrams later.
I will. Anyway, so I went out there and everything was fine. So I was doing my makeup, and the room that we were in was good. The AC was working. Mind you, we're in Tennessee, late June. Humidity there in Tennessee is
You're like swimming, probably. I'm sure.
hot. So I had the AC on blast in my room, so everything was fine. Hmm. Next thing you know, the AC goes out,
Oh no.
and I didn't have my fan. I usually take like a portable fan with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that didn't work out so much.
Dang.
So next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom. Everything's fine. Like, but next thing you know, like all it does is take one thing of sweat to start, and the rest of my body's like, "Oh God, we all need to sweat." And then my
Mm-hmm.
and next, I'm walking around doing this. I'm in front of the AC, like taking all the air I can in. I mean, the makeup came out decent, but it could have been so much more better if I had AC.
Yeah, I have that problem. I'm getting because I'm getting like laser and stuff on my face, but it's still like around my mustache and I guess like I don't know goatee or handlebar area or whatever. Like it's still kind of dark there. So like if I put makeup, if I do like foundation and stuff, it starts like getting really sweaty there, and it definitely like comes through real bad. but I don't know. I kind of like my complexion anyway, so
You're
I don't
gorgeous.
know. Oh, thank you, thank you. So you have a lot of you have a lot of trans and drag queen friends.
I have trans, drag queen, cross dressers. Like, in a way, I mean, cross dressers pretty much to me falls on the umbrella of trans to
Mm-hmm.
me. And I mean, of course, I sat down and talked to my therapist about this because I was actually scared. Like, oh God, my trans, what's going on? You know, she was like, "You're already doing that, so you're already falling under that umbrella." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, all right." But yeah, I have friends who are trans, cross dressers, and drag queens, uh, and believe it or not, I mean, if you met some of them, I mean, you wouldn't even know. Like, they're so gorgeous, it's ridiculous. Like Frank Candace, you know, Chanel, like these girls, like kill it, just kill it.
Mm,
So yeah, I have a big support system.
that's great. That's great to have that support. Where did you meet all these friends?
Uh, Kick, Instagram, um, majority Instagram, I think. Oh, and FetLife.
Okay, I hear that one always comes up.
Yeah, Fet. Well, you gotta say FetLife was before we like. For me, I was always on FetLife. Like my profile was on FetLife. And then one day somebody was like, "Why don't you just post your picture on Instagram?" I'm like, "Eh." And I said, "Forget it. I'll just do it." And then from there, from Instagram, I just started meeting all these people.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you're pretty open about yourself and do you go out much?
Not as much as I want to, only because I'm out, but I'm not out. If you want to say,
Mm,
I have because my profession and what I do, I kind of a lot of people know me, and I kind of stand out in the crowd. Uh,
mm-hmm.
like certain family members know, my friends know, my brother knows, so that helps out a lot.
Okay. How was that? How was that with your family? Like, did you have to come out to them, or did they like find out, or?
Well, my family doesn't know about this. Like I have cousins that know about this, but not like uncles and aunts and stuff like that. My mom always had a inkling, maybe. I used to do things around her when I was a child that she would question me on, so I
Mm,
had an idea of what I really was. And I mean,
like
um,
what?
certain things happened when I was a child, and my mom was like, "Do you want to be a girl? Do you want?" I'm like, "No, no, no, I'm a boy." Um, so it was one of those situations.
Okay, okay.
She caught me with a few things, and she questioned me. I was like 13 at the time, and that was pretty interesting.
Mm, cool, cool. Hmm. And she's so she knows now. Is she supportive, accepting?
Well, you can say she knows now because she passed away like 2 years ago, over 2 years
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry to hear that.
ago. I'm um, and I honestly I think my mom would still be been supportive, no matter what.
Yeah, my mom just passed away a year ago, like 4 days ago, a year ago.
My
So
condolences.
it's hard. My condolences for real. It's really sad.
It's rough. Losing your like my dad is still alive, and he was real sick at one point, and I thought he was going to go, and that didn't bother me as much as my mom dying. Like with your mom, and there's nothing about like I love my dad to death, but like your mom, it's that's a different feeling when you lose a mother.
How so?
You feel like your safety net is gone, like that. If something goes wrong, you can always turn around and go to your mother, and that's completely gone. And that is it's one of those. And besides that, like the food, the desserts. My mom made the best chocolate chip cookies. My mom made the best chicken noodle soup, oxtail soup, ham and bean soup. So these are things that you don't have no more that will bring you comfort, and it's gone and it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dang. Yeah, I get that. Like for me, my dad passed in 2016, so he's been gone for a while. So that for me, like his passing definitely like messed me up a lot more than my mom's. But he also didn't know about me. I never told him. So for me, like that's a huge regret. Um, my mom knew, and it wasn't. She didn't take it well. I think there was a lot of like, um, I don't know. I feel like she was definitely a lot of grieving for her, like the loss of her son.
Hmm. Yeah, well, when my mom found out I was pansexual, because I came out to her that I was dating a trans woman at the time,
Okay.
and because my wife and I are poly,
Oh,
so
okay.
I was dating my wife. I mean, my girl at the time. Me and her have a very interesting situational ship right now. So, um, me and her have been off and on for like 8 years. But anyway, but my cousin outed me to my family. He saw pictures of me and
Mm,
my girl on Facebook, and then went through and found her dead pictures on Facebook. And he started going around telling my family about me. And it's funny because I told my mom literally a day it before she found out from my family. So she thought I was
mm,
setting her up. She called me all kinds of names, and it hurt, but I knew why she was doing it. So anytime my mom is hurt, she lashes out, and the way she lashes out is by she was hurt because I didn't tell her first. She felt that I could have told her anything because we had a great relationship, and I could have told her, and I was kind of like, "Your mom."
yeah, mom, you don't need to know every single thing.
You know, that's my mom.
Dang. How was that? How was it dating a trans woman?
Like dating a woman.
Or yeah, yeah, okay.
it's it's it's, it's, it's honestly
Good
it's like
answer.
dating a woman is nothing different. The only thing is different, honestly, nothing. It's really just dating a woman. It's and that's what I wish people understand that like a trans woman is a woman. Like once, even like it's crazy how people think because you're trans, things have to be done differently. No, you just treat them like a woman.
Hmm.
Open
Hmm.
the doors for them. Walk on the outside of the sidewalk. Pull out the seat for them. You treat them like a woman. And it was like a regular relationship, nothing different.
That's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get kudos from certain people for
Uh, yeah. So how? So you're in a. Sorry, I could get them all mixed up. Poly relationship,
that. Yes,
right? How does that work out with your? You said your wife.
yes. My wife and I, we've been poly since we met. That's 16 years ago. And at first, it was just dating other women. But then I came out to her saying, "Hey, I like trans women." And this at the time, this was people were still learning more about trans women. So, you trans were trans and women were women. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
We're still learning is these new things. And and my wife was like, "Okay, you could have told me that a long time ago." And then we started dating trans women, cis women, and then I had my first experience with a guy, probably like the third or fourth year being with each other, or fifth. I can't remember. It was like 2012. So anyway, it was about four years, and then I realized, well, maybe I'm bi. But then that's when the whole term pansexual came out, because I realized
Mm-hmm.
I'm attracted to people that turn me on, not just physically but mentally as well.
Okay. How was that dating, or I guess dating, going out with a man? How was that?
Well, we so the men I've dated have been more androgynous. And actually, some like people think they are women, and
Mm.
oh, they're men. Um, so I don't in male form. I don't really date men. The quintessential way, but I date more the androgynous woman or men. I'm sorry. But as Jasmine, for some reason, I'm attracted to actual more masculine men. It's crazy. Like as soon as all the makeup goes on, the boobs go on, the hair is on. For some reason, I'm attracted to more masculine men.
Interesting. Hmm.
I don't know. It's like a switch or something kicks on, and it was like, oh, hey,
What what about men attract like I guess yeah, what about men attract you?
I don't know. Maybe the muscle. Maybe that's it. Um, um, and the thing is, I try to put Jasmine into the dating world. And of course, men being men, um, you know, Ben just, I could not believe my inbox of what men send to women. And one day I asked my wife, I was like, "Is this what men send to you?" And she's like, "Yes, all the time." I was like, "Wow." And so because of that, that kind of made me kind of back off. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but what attracts me is like have a conversation. Like, and the thing is, if men forget that when the makeup comes off, the wig comes off, I'm back to my regular form, and I know how to treat a woman, and so I expect that from a man who's trying to court me. Of course, they think that I get dressed up for sexual reasons. It's not for sexual reasons. When I first did it, it was like the first 2 months, it was, and then I realized Jasmine is actually another part of me that where I don't have to take hormones. I don't have to, get body done or anything. I could actually get dressed up and be Jasmine and then switch and go back to my male form anytime I want to. Um, and so men don't understand like the stuff they say to me. I'm like, I've said that. Try something better. So if you have a conversation, that's what attracts me.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
And like the gym, I'm a gym. I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of like a gym person.
I know you're ripped, you're buffed.
So I kind of like gym kind of guys.
No, I think it's cool. How often do you go to the gym?
On a good week, 5 times a week. On a bad week, three.
Oh dang, that's like 3 to 5 times more than I go.
It's
I used to go like maybe 3 or 4 times a week a few years ago, and then I just kind of life happened, and I kind of drifted away from it.
it. I mean, it's like I have a certain image I want to keep, so that's what motivates me to go to the gym. I hate manual labor. That's why I actually don't like the gym.
Mm.
People are like, you don't like the gym? No, I don't like lifting things. Who the fuck wants to lift things? You you what's the word for when people like pain? What's the word? They're not.
Oh dang, yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Masochism, I think.
that's you have to be a small form of you have to be that to say, hey, I'm going to go somewhere where I lift things to hurt myself.
Mm-hmm. Literally tear apart your muscles.
You're literally tearing apart small fibers in your muscles as you're lifting to make them grow. It sucks.
What kind of workouts do you typically do? Like squats, bench press. Oh yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I have a routine like Mondays is chest and tries days, Tuesdays is back and by, Wednesdays is leg day, Thursday I take off, Friday I do like arms, and Saturday I do legs again.
Okay, so you do legs quite a bit then.
Well, I mean, you want your butt to look nice, right?
That's true.
See, okay, I like women who work out, but the women that do the BBL. There's nothing wrong with BBL. I think BBLs are awesome. It's great has how technology has sent us into the stratosphere where you can do anything to your body. Women just do squats. That's all you need to do. Go to the gym and do squats. That's it. Or lunges. Well, look with lunges and leg press. It's a bunch of stuff you got to do. But
I should probably do more squats. I
you'd be
need
surprised.
a.
You did. I promise you, if you stuck to a routine of just like a good leg routine, you'll be surprised how big your legs will get within 6 months.
Okay.
Eat food.
Well, I don't have a problem eating. But yes, working out. I get a lot of my job's really physical, so I get a lot of physical activity from there. But I mean, I could definitely use some squats or something because
Yeah.
I can only rely on the hormones so much.
So yeah, do your squats with the hormones. Oh, see, the thing is, I know if I took hormones, I know my genetics. I already have hips and I already have thighs and I already have ass. Like it's there. I can't help it. It's there. That's literally genetics. I have my legs, genetics. So I know if I would take hormones, like those are the first thing to go. First thing.
Dang, I wish. Yeah, I should probably get on that then because that's
Huge difference.
I would love it. I would love to have some just big hips, big thighs, big butt. I think my thighs are pretty big already, but maybe a little more toned. I don't know.
Trust me, if you just do a good leg workout, you'll see a huge difference.
Okay. Do you have any like recommendations on that?
Um, I'll I got a list of stuff I can email you or message you.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see that because I know my lower half could use some work.
I bet you look
Hmm.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's hmm. So you've been going to the gym for a long time, like most of your life, or
Um, I've always been athletic my whole life. Um, but I just recently started really hitting the gym like 8 years ago.
mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. And it's funny, like when I first started doing this, I would wear clothes that hid my masculine arms. And because I'm like, that's not a lady. Like in my head, petite, you know, or thick, but not muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day I realized I've been in the past, I've been known to date a lot of female bodybuilders. And
Okay.
it's on Instagram, like those, that's it, fit women. Like those one of the bigger, things. And I'm just kind of like, why do I have my arms when I get dressed? Like all you, if I showed you my closet of the clothes I was buying, it was all sleeves. Like everything had sleeves. And then one day I was like, no, why do I have to conform to what people think a woman should look
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think
like?
it's cool that you're so out there with your arms and stuff. I think that's cool.
Thank you. I thought that, you know, if I want to be different, show the arms, show the muscles, show that it's okay to be a beautiful woman with big arms.
I think it's cool. That's a good. Sounds like you have a really good, I guess, mental thought, or I don't know. I can't think of the word, but you have a good, maybe psyche about it. I guess.
Thank you. It's more just like I just got into a point in my life where people should just be who they want to be. If you want to put makeup on and then throw in a regular suit and you're a guy and want to wear heels, you can. If you're a woman and you want to wear men's clothing and paint on a mustache and your lips, you should be able to do that. If hell, there's people who walk around with diapers on because they want to. Okay, who cares? As long as they ain't hurting you, who gives a fuck? Let them live their life.
I had
If
Giselle did an interview with someone that was a adult baby diaper lover.
Yeah, let them. Who cares? That's not your thing. That's not your thing. You just move on.
Hmm.
You ain't gotta like harp on it or figure out how to make them miserable because you're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable. Fuck you.
Hmm.
So I just literally got to that point. I was just kind of like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this all the way. I'm gonna have fun with it, and yeah, and that's why you see the way I am.
That's cool. Was that getting to that point of I guess not, I don't want to say ashamed, but not being ashamed of like hiding your arms? Was that like a really long process for you, or was that pretty quick?
Um, I still have moments where how do I say? I still have moments where I'm uncomfortable with dressing up as Jasmine because a lot of people look at in my male persona. A lot of people look up to me. So in my head, I have this thing where I have to stay a certain image. And so when I switch over to Jasmine, even though I'm happy, I still have a feeling like I get this feeling like this is not what I'm supposed to do. But then at the same time, like it makes me happy. Like literally, I have to make a day or two to do this. If I don't, I'm like miserable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe might be a good idea to try to think about. In my mind, I'm thinking about like your young self, like watching. He said Ricky Lake or Jenny Jones or one of those talk shows, because same. Um, You'd be good like representation for those younger kids that are like, oh shit, someone can do this. They can be out presenting as themselves or feminine or and have big arms and I think I think that's super cool to
I
maybe even have
I think
that aspect.
I do it more for like black men who are in my situation because I know a lot of black men who are gorgeous. Like when they get dressed, I mean, you wouldn't know. I mean, drop dead. Ugh. So, but a lot of us are in the closet. We have to be because of the culture that we come from. And I think I try to do a more of a show like black men who want to be out there, who want to do these things. Um, I think that's one of the reasons why I do it. I think that's one of the reasons why I post. I think one time you made a long post about it, talking about like we don't get enough representation in this culture, like in this lifestyle. I mean, let's be real. When you turn on uh, a crossdresser.com or anything like that, it's all white or Hispanic and Asian. You
Hmm.
never ever see black women ever. Like you may get one or two here and there, but even when you go to certain Instagram sites and everything, it's all white, Hispanic, or Asian, and it's just kind of frustrating because if this image is not out there, then there's a lot of black people who are suffering from the mental weight from it, that the mental heaviness from that they can't be who they are, and they're scared to do it, and they just need that one representation of, oh, I'm going to do what she does, and then the ball will start rolling. But at the same time, we need people to actually say, hey, let me put her picture up, and you rarely see that. I mean, I know women like me, black, who have gone on certain websites that's committed to cross dressing, and they say we're having a competition for this month of Girl of the Month, and it's every month it's another Hispanic or white, and I know a lot of black people put in for it and they never get it.
That's sad. I think it definitely need more representation out there, and I think it's great that you're putting your story out here too, because it's representation here, and representation for sure fucking matters.
Yeah, it does. Black cross dressers matter.
Yeah, they do.
Uh, But at the same time, we don't get we don't get back up from our own culture too. So you have one side that says, "Hey, you're a freak from our own culture. Something's wrong with you." And then you have from another side who goes, "You're black." So it's kind of messed up. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Instagram uh, sites that put my pic up. There's a lot that don't put up black women's pics. There are websites that have presented black women like us,
Hmm.
but to me, it's not enough. And I think and also let me put this out there too. There's not enough of us that's putting it out there because we're scared, and I get it. And I
I get
truly
it.
like this. I was when we first started about doing the podcast. I didn't know if I wanted to do the podcast. I was kind of like, and then I told my wife like, hey, they want to do a podcast with me. She's like, go for it. I didn't tell her what my feelings were at the time, but it was still like I still had that nervousness.
Hmm. I think it's great that you're representing us. That's super cool, and I would love to get more representation on the podcast. Let's if anybody wants to talk with me or put their story out there, please come find me, come talk to me. I would love to get that out there. And I would also love to maybe post your picture on the Instagram stories and stuff. I mean, I will whenever I
I'll,
put this thing
I'll
out.
send a bunch of pictures. I'll send nice and casual like this, or we can get sexy, baby.
Oh, let's get sexy.
I have a bunch of those. Ugh.
Well, as long as it doesn't get flagged and taken down, I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's cool though. I totally get the representation thing. My my sister, she's always dated black dudes, and my nieces and nephews are all they're all mixed. So I totally get where you're coming from. And
Till I said thank you.
okay, we'll do. But yeah, it's there's another person that I met through the Curi-YAAS Discord, named Joy, and I'd love to get Joy on here. Joy is doing a lot of cool stuff, and she needs to get her story out. So I think it'd be another great representation. She's a bit young. She was for a long time. She was the youngest person on the Discord. Probably still is, but she's definitely underrepresented. Just like you say.
When we after this, you have to give me the information to Discord so I can add myself to the Discord, or you can
Oh,
add
for
me.
sure.
In fact, I have to set up a Jasmine Discord. I have the male side, but I have to add Jasmine.
Okay, yeah. I think you could even do like profiles or something now, so you can kind of separate them if you just wanted to be on the same account. But it might even be better just to have them a separate account. I don't know. It's up to you. But I'll definitely get that to you. For any other listeners that want to join the Discord, you can go to the crossyauspodcast.com and scroll to the bottom right hand side. There's a link, or you can reach out to me and I'll send you a link too. But I will definitely send you a link because I think you'd be a great addition. Everyone there is super nice and friendly, and it's a really great supportive place.
That is awesome. It's funny because when I first got into this whole cross dressing thing, I was going to like. I remember the first couple groups I'm going to take you back. Yahoo groups.
Oh shit.
So that's where I first like start trying to reach out to people like me because I thought I was alone. Like I thought something
Hmm.
was wrong with me. I thought that I was a freak. And the thing I was looking for more black cross dressers. Like looking, and I couldn't find any. Kept finding white cross dressers, Hispanic cross dressers, Asian cross dressers. That's cool, but great conversations with all of them. But I can't really you can't relate to a lot of things I'm going through at the moment.
Hmm.
I need to talk to people who have these feelings that I'm having because of our culture. And like I said, I run into my friends on Kick and Instagram and FetLife, and it's funny because we talked about going to like my friends. They've been to was it TG Wild Style? Wow,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
they've been out there. They've been doing those. They've done a few of those. And when I go on the website, you never see them on there. Like you see all these other women, but you never see my friends were all black. And I was like, That's crazy. You see him here and there, so I'm not taking wild style. Don't get mad at me. I'm just, I'm just. I'm not saying that you didn't put on purpose. Don't take it that way. Start off
I'll
with
say it. Wow, wow, style. You need to get your shit together and put some more representation out there so people
I,
can see it.
I mean, you see them in the background, but they weren't in the forefront. If that makes sense.
Yeah, bring them up front.
And I was like, we need to start our own like black, wild style or wild whatever our own TGY. And it's funny because actually I went to Atlanta for my birthday this past year, the past April,
Okay.
and my friends all live in Atlanta, and we all got dressed up and went out, and it was a blast. And I was like, we need to do our own like in Vegas, like get a bunch of girls, at least 20 to 30 of us, and just fucking take over because all my friends are gorgeous, like all of them. I'm not when I say I'm not embellishing anything. Like they're just gorgeous, and we would tear it up.
I bet. I'd love to see. Do you have any pictures? I'm sure
Yeah,
there's pictures. A group of cross dressers. Of course, there's pictures.
I have pictures. I'll send them to you. So I need to post more of them. Um, I have them, but I just never, for some reason, I never posted them. I don't know why, but yes, I have.
Okay. I know. I usually feel weird about like if I take pictures with people. I feel weird about like posting their pictures or whatever if they're like with me.
Well,
Just
all
as
of
like
them.
a
So
I
that's
don't know,
one
like
reason.
as a privacy thing maybe for
Yeah,
myself or for them even. I don't know.
yeah. I don't post pictures of friends who don't post pictures of themselves.
Hmm.
Uh, but my friends who are like my, when you get a chance, go to my good friend Chanel page. She's on my friends list. Go to gorgeous. I'm talking about it like night and day, like total transformation. And I mean, when she gorgeous. That's all I gotta say. Like gorgeous. I get
Okay.
jealous. I'm like, gosh, she's gorgeous.
I'm to look her up. To look up all your friends.
Oh, I'll send them all so you can stalk them.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna stalk them. I'm gonna follow every single one of them on my personal account and the podcast account.
You have to send me your personal account. I don't have it.
Okay, I will. I'll say it, but I'll definitely send it to you. My personal account for anybody that needs to reach out to me or whatever wants to do the podcast or just talk to me. It's on Instagram at Billie Billie Rain Rain 4, the number 4.
Gotcha.
You found me.
Follow.
Yeah.
You are
But yeah,
gorgeous.
if any of your friends want to come on here, I'm more than happy to bring them on. Because, like I said, I'd love to get more representation out there. It's everyone has a story to tell, and they deserves to be told.
Well, I'll tell them. I know one of my friends. She did do it. We call her godmother. Why can't I think of my? Why can't I think of her name? Give me a second. Uh, it was a long time ago. Okay, why can't I think of her name? This is bothering me because this is godmother. Give me a second. I feel bad because this is godmother we're talking about. Barbara. Barb. She did it. I want to say she did it not with you. She did it with Gazelle. I want
Hmm.
to say 2 years ago,
Oh,
but it
dang.
wasn't.
Okay.
It was it was voice.
Yeah, I've been trying to get more video stuff out there. It's the video stuff is typically I always ask for permission, if it's okay to do video or to put the video out, but I like to have the video call that week just for like social cues and stuff. But yeah, I like having the Instagram or the I like having the Instagram account, but I like having like the YouTube stuff out there too because that just pushes the word out there more.
Yeah, haven't started YouTube yet. Thinking about doing one. I actually was thinking about doing a cigar and whiskey YouTube or like tease like start something on Instagram where I just talk about cigars.
Okay, did you do like reviews or
Say that again.
would you do like cigar reviews or just
I love cigars and whiskey.
what kind of cigars are your favorite?
Uh, right now, I like a good Nicaraguan or Honduran. I want something deep and dark. That
Mm.
was fun. But I do like something deep and dark. Uh, I like heavy smokes. I like something that I can just meditate to. Like cigars were used for meditation before it was colonized by the Spanish when they came down to Central America. Like cigars were used by the natives as it gave them strength. It helped them focus. When the Spaniards came down to Central America and they see these natives with these big bundles, and they have these big bundles and they're puffing from them. The Spanish were thrown off. They're like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, this tobacco, because they didn't know what tobacco was. Like it gives us strength. It helps us feel good. It helps us focus. It makes and they meditated with it. And so the Spaniards then they tried it and they were like, "Can you make them smaller?" And that's how the cigar came to be. And they took it over to Europe, and the only people could and the reason why that only why it was considered a luxury because the ones who took it over there were the noble men. So when they went
Mm.
over, that's why cigars became a luxury.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. So do you participate in like the meditative aspect of cigars?
So I like to do a thing where I just sit back and I turn on something on YouTube and I just literally just puff away and I have my whiskey and I just think about the day and what I could do differently. And I wouldn't say it's an out of body experience, but it helps me focus on what I want to do.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that's why I love cigars.
I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever really smoked like a real cigar. Like I think probably the closest thing I've had is like a back a long time ago when I was in a band. We'd have like celebratory black and milds,
Oh, well,
but I'm
my
sure those are really shitty.
I had a partner at work. He always had a Black and Mild on all the time. That was his name, Black and Mild.
We'd always get the wood tips. That's how you know we were fancy.
Yes, you're only fancy with the wood tips.
We'd have our wood tip black and milds and our Miller High Life,
Ooh, you know what?
champagne of beers. You know.
It's funny. Uh, I actually, you know what beer I actually start enjoying, even though it's like the PBRs. I actually like PBRs, but it's hot outside and I'm doing work around the house, and I just grab a cold PBR and just down it.
I like a PBR. PBR is pretty good.
See the thing with okay, so I'm a bougie bitch, and I like my whiskeys, I like my tequila, my beers. They're usually IPAs. There's something that's you know it's not Miller High Life, it's not Coors Light, it's Revolution or it's Goose Island. Those are the beers I drink. But every once in
Mm.
a while, with my meal, I want a PBR or a Miller Lite or a Bud Light. Like I like those beers. So I'm not bougie all the way, and that's the problem. That's the only reason why I don't have as much money as I should because I'm always smoking cigars, drinking whiskey. I always got to get the best things, the boobs.
How much are cigars typically?
Um, it depends. Like there are some good cigars out there that cost anywhere between 15 to 25, $30,
Oh dang.
and I love. And it's funny, the best cigars I smoke cost around $8, $9.
Hmm. Interesting.
Now,
Not
don't
too
get me wrong.
bad.
I like a good Padron. Padron runs you anywhere. A good one runs you anywhere between $22 to $30. I like the 1946 Padron. That's anytime I'm celebrating anything or, it's a special time, I go get a Padron because to me that's a special time. I'm not saying maybe I have a hookup on Cubans. I'm just, maybe, I like a good Cuban if I get my hands on some. Uh, and the thing is, Cubans are great, but there are way more good sticks out there that are actually really, really good.
Oh, okay.
So, but I said
Is it just one of those they're popular because it's like hard to get by?
pretty much like people want things that is hard to get by, so they can go, "I got this."
Mm.
Okay, and like I said, I rather smoke, and like I got in my humidor right now. I got a bunch of sticks that cost $6-7, and they're better than a Cuban.
Mm, okay.
Don't get me wrong. There's some good Cubans out there. Like they're like when you, it's like smoking butter. It's like so smooth, and it's just like, oh,
Smoking butter.
yeah. Like this, smoking up Behenke, which is Cohiba, and Beneke, and it's a Cohiba.
Hmm.
And you got to be careful because there's so many fake Cubans out there. But but like I said, I make sure I get the right ones. Anyway, and it's a really good smoke. Like this one, I'm smoking because I'm enjoying our conversation. This one is not going to put me to sleep. But after I'm done with you, I'm going to go get my heavy smoke. I'm going to go get my other good whiskey, and I'm going to sit down and go into a trance.
Oh dang, trance, huh? That sounds cool. Do you listen to like music or anything when you're getting to like trance mode?
So like, as I've gotten older, I've been enjoying jazz a lot more. Um,
Hmm.
been into like rap wasn't. It's funny. I didn't start getting into like hip hop until I got older. Like I didn't start listening really to Wu Tang until like 5 6 years ago. Okay, I did, but what I like to listen to is lo-fi or chill hop.
Okay.
Where it actually originated was with a guy um, Jabez, Japanese guy, and he started it. And where I first heard it was on an old anime called Samurai Champloo. Love
I
that,
guess sounds
and
familiar.
yeah, beautiful anime. It was hip hop mixed with jazz. Like that was the soundtrack, and so that's what I actually fell in love with. I've always been into like old school R&B because my mother,
Hmm.
town, classical music. I was raised on classical music. Uh, I was raised on contemporary jazz, smooth jazz. There used to be a channel out here in Chicago called 95.5 WNUA 95.5, and they had the greatest jingle in the world. Like
Oh,
if you
can you please sing the jingle? I'd love to hear it.
you put me on the spot, okay. WNUA 95.5. That was the jingle,
Oh,
and
beautiful, beautiful. I
it,
love that.
thank you. Either it was singing or it was done by a instrument. So it was one of those. Like every time I hear the jingle, it takes me back when I used to be my family. So I always pull up on YouTube every once in a while when I feel nostalgic. I'm a very nostalgic type person.
Hmm.
So um, not just with music I listen to. I listen to a lot of like nostalgic stuff. I'm gonna tell you what to do. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Texas.
Did you say Austin?
It's near Austin. It's a small city called College Station.
Okay, so what channels would you pick up? Was it from Austin?
We had our own stations, but probably would pick up maybe Houston. Houston's a little closer.
Okay, so one day, maybe even tonight, while you have a little sip, go on YouTube and type in 1990 commercials from Houston, Texas, and just look for the one that's like 20, 30 minutes long and click on it.
Hmm.
And it will put you to this nostalgic trance, and you'll just be like, and you'll just feel this warmth, and you just kind of just sink in, and you'll watch. You're like, oh my god, I remember that restaurant. Oh my god, I remember that store, and it will take you back. So a lot of times when my anxiety kicks in or my depression, I turn that on, and it brings me right back.
Okay, I'll do that. There's definitely commercials that like I remember and stick out in my head. There was one for it was a car lot in Tomball, Texas, and there's like these kids there, and they're like, "Come, come on down and play with us. Come see Pawpaw."
That sounds kind of creepy, but I get it. If you
It
ever
was a
get a
little creepy.
for a black person, we don't go down to those kind of commercials because we're
You
first of
don't
all
want to
black.
go. You don't want to go see Pawpaw.
Um, uh, but I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance, do that. And that's for anybody out there, whatever city you were from, uh, just type in such and such commercial, whatever time you were raised in. Like me, I was born in the 80s. So I remember a lot of the 80s, but majority I remember the 90s. So whatever you remember the most, just type it in. And I guarantee on YouTube, I guarantee you'll fall into some nostalgic trance and just like, I needed that.
To definitely do that later for sure. Hmm. There's another one I always remember. Cause very it's very country where I live, so there's this one. It was like there's like a mattress store, and this kid, his name's Marshall Dillon. He's like, I guarantee you buy a bed from me, or my name ain't Marshall Dillon.
Oh my God. So
Apparently, he got beat up in school because he wouldn't give up his lunch money or something. But
for
I
us,
don't
if
know.
Chicago, like Moo and Oink, if you like Moo and Oink, it's crazy. Then you have Adriana Furs. Like you always heard Adriana Furs around Christmas. Like Adriana Furs always talked about, we have this great sale, and it's just like, yeah, okay. Like Adriana Furs, Moo and Oink, Bob Worrellman. He was a car salesman. It's like these things that pop up. It's just like boom, I'm in another world. I'm a kid again, and I. Oh, in fact, after I'm done with you, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. If you find any that you like, you share it with me, please. I'd love to partake.
Girl, you and I are gonna chat after we're done with this. You and I are gonna chat. We're gonna, yeah,
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. So you mentioned earlier. You mentioned you go to therapy, or maybe did. I don't know if you still do.
yes.
How has that been for you?
Um, so so my line of work, what I'm in, um, I'm a first responder. We'll just say that, and I have seen some of the worst when it comes to humans.
Hmm.
And I didn't think it was bothering me. I thought I was okay. And about my fourth or fifth year on the job, I'm at a red light, something like that. It was a red light. The next thing you know, my heart was just beating like crazy. And I'm looking around and I'm like, what's about to happen? I thought something bad was about to happen. Like I was worrisome. Like, and my senses went into like, I went to like this ultra vigilant mode. And then it went away. I got home and I told my wife about it. And my wife was like, you just had an anxiety attack. I'm like, no.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, you did. I was like, no, I didn't. No, you're crazy. I didn't get that. So a couple weeks later, same thing happened, but this time it didn't last for like 30 seconds. It lasted for like 8 hours. And I'm like,
Yes.
what is wrong? So it got worse over a year. It kept getting worse. And then it got about 2 years I dealt with it. And I became a totally different person. I was very mean. I was lashing out to people. I was just wasn't a nice person. And then one day I snapped at my wife. She just asked me to do something around the house, and she's like, "You know what? If you don't get help, I'm leaving."
Mm.
And I kind of like my wife,
Yeah.
so
You married her. I hope you liked her.
yeah. So I kind of was like, "Okay, all right." So I lied and said I used. Well, I didn't lie. I did talk to somebody at my job about it who is like a peer support,
Mm.
but that wasn't therapy. I only talked to him like once or twice, and that was it. And then, but it got worse. And then one day, my wife's like, "We're going to go for marriage counseling." Oh, okay. So we get to the therapist, and then this therapist gives me this thing of, "Oh, your insurance doesn't cover um, doesn't cover marriage, but it covers single therapy." And my wife's like, "Oh, okay. You know what? Why don't you guys get started with a therapy session? I'm gonna leave." And she left. I'm like, and I went to the therapy session. After I left, I was like, this bitch tricked me.
She totally planned that.
She tricked me. I'm like,
Hey, that was part one of my Curi-YAAS convo with Jazmine. Stay tuned next week for part two. If you enjoyed Jazmine's story and would like to share your own, or would like to connect with myself, Giselle, or many of the other Curi-YAAS guests or listeners, you can find us in the Curi-YAAS Confidential Discord, which can be found on CrossYAASPodcast.com. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. Chances are they might enjoy it too. Also, just so you know, I'm not here to diagnose or treat anything. I'm just here to share my story, have others come on the podcast to share their story, to help you learn about the world of cross dressing, sexuality, and gender. Bye.